Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan Cast MJC show. Max, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. Joey, how are you?
Up in this bitch.
Jesus Christ.
He's up in this bitch, man. Look, we doing Niner talk. We doing the NFC.
That's right.
The NFC West, the champion, I would say, of being the best division in football for the last.
We'll take it.
5 years at least?
I'd say 4.
4 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
I think they're the second best this year. I think they're the second best.
I think so too. But that's besides the point. We're going to be talking Rams, Niners, Seahawks, and the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to start off with the Rams. But before, subscribe to the channel, bro. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you guys are already with us, hit that like button, bro. It's an easy way. It's a free way to support us. You don't know how much just hitting that like button helps us out. Comment down below whatever thoughts, opinions you guys have, any recommendations you guys want us to do, all that good stuff. Now let's get into it. LA Rams, bringing back Sean McVay, new OC, Liam Cohen, and bringing back DC Raheem Morris. Last year went 12-5, and of course, won the Super Bowl. Okay,
And they own a house.
Fuck.
And they own house, man. Look, they got on a hot streak. Cooper Kupp, fucking triple crown guy. Trade worked out. Hashtag fuck them picks. It all fucking coincided.
Everything fell into place.
It did, man. Look, shout out to the Rams. Shout out to Matthew Stafford. I was really happy for him, man. Storylines. Honestly, what's the path to repeat, man? They're always losing coaches. You know, they don't have any high-end draft picks coming in. How do they duplicate it?
Well, they got some key guys, bro. They got Allen Robinson, receiver, who's just been under some of the worst quarterback. He's been playing with some of the worst quarterbacks since he entered the league. Blake Bortles to Andy Dalton to Mitch Trubisky. Mm-hmm. And now they got Bobby Wagner. They took him away from the Seattle Seahawks. Arguably the worst position group. They got a Hall of Famer who's still, I think, not at the top of his game, but really freaking good. Path to repeat, simple. Year 2 of Stafford, McVay, and Kupp. It's going to be hopefully even better, and let's get that run game back. Let's not be awful at running the ball this year.
It was crazy, man, because I felt like going into the season they couldn't run the ball, but during playoff time they kind of got it going. And like I like to say, you got to be able to run the ball and stop the run in the playoffs, no matter what. Mm-hmm. There's no way getting around it. What's your thoughts on the Rams, Joey?
So I gotta say, man, with this team, it's stacked from top to bottom. Unfortunately, I hate this fucking team, but they've definitely. I feel like they've gotten better. I hate to say, with Allen Robinson, Bobby Wagner. I feel like the key for them this year is consistency, being able to show that they're the best team or one of the best teams in the league each and every game. They haven't been able to do that. I feel like they didn't really do that consistently last year, especially.
So, are you saying like more how you gonna play with the target on your back?
No. I think what he's trying to say, and the only reason I jump in because I agree with you 100%. Last year, hot start.
Exactly.
It slowed down. It was that weird loss to the Titans. It was a weird loss to. They almost lost to Baltimore. It was like, this is supposed to be
not so weird loss to the Niners.
Not so weird loss.
I think when they acquired OBJ.
Yeah. I think that kind of started to get them going again because, last year they didn't have a number 2 receiver for most of the year when Robert Woods went down.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, crap. So I agree with you, Joey. That is part of it. It's like we need some consistency, and hopefully Stafford won't be as banged up. Look, the O-line lost their veteran, their everything, Andrew Whitworth. He was a 40-year-old tackle just out there doing an amazing job. Now they're replacing him with Joe Noteboom, who's okay. The offensive line screams, it's just mediocre to me. But Sean McVay, I think, will coach him up to the point where they'll keep Stafford a little more clean. I think the position group's better this year than the receivers. And I think OBJ is going to come back. At some point, he'll come back. I know he tore his ACL.
You think he'll come back to this team?
I think so. I don't think there's a big market for him.
But so, I mean, okay. So, like, how much is he actually going to play this season?
I think if he comes back, it'd be sometime week 10 on.
After Thanksgiving.
Yeah, after Thanksgiving, December.
And what kind of role is he going to, like...
Third receiver, second receiver, some of the best matchups. OBJ, I don't think he in it for the money, man. He got the money.
It's kind of
I think he kind of just wants to, hey, I want to play football. I want to have a good situation.
And I think the fact that he was on his way on being the Super Bowl MVP, in my opinion, before he got out with injury.
I mean,
I
he's
hear
balling.
what you're saying.
He got a taste of it.
My prediction is he goes to the Bucks.
Well, okay, even if he goes to the Bucks, that just fits into my philosophy of thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm going to go somewhere. But hey, what about Godwin and him? So he's going to be the third receiver there or somewhere in LA that he likes living in, that he likes Sean McVay. They have a relationship.
I feel like he has a chance to be an upgrade over Antonio Brown, who was in some games their best receiver.
Do you think,
some games their second best receiver? Some games
you don't think OBJ is an upgrade from Van Jefferson?
Yeah, of course.
So why wouldn't the Rams want him back? And
Because I don't think he'd want to play that third receiver role. Why? I feel like Cooper Kupp is going to get the lion's share of targets. I feel like Allen Robinson's going to be a great number 2 option.
I feel like in today's NFL, you can really good number 3s. Basically, there's 2 number 2s out there nowadays. That's just how I feel.
Running 3 wide receiver sets most of the time.
I get what you're saying, but I feel like Allen Robinson is going to demand half of. I mean,
I don't think Allen Robinson has any choice. I don't think he has any problem getting some lack of targets just to get quality looks.
He just wants to win.
Bro,
You think?
he wants a quarterback that can throw him the ball when he's open. He ain't had that since that one decent year of Blake Bortles. That's my prediction. So
Yeah,
I think the priority should get that running game back on track. They added Kyron Williams from Notre Dame, who Juan hates, who I think solid. Darrell Henderson, if he's healthy, is solid. Cam Akers, other than that one game where he couldn't hold on to the ball, solid player. And this defense, we got to talk about it. They lost Vaughn, Darius Williams, Sebastian Joseph Day.
3 big losses. One, I'd say very good player for them, and
who's that
maybe
very
2.
good player, Vaughn?
Yeah, I think Vaughn's that.
I
very
would say
good.
Sebastian Joseph Day really had a role for this team carved out. Really nice niche
But in
role.
the playoffs,
he was out anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, in the playoffs, I think Vaughn really made that impact.
I agree.
And if he's not there, maybe they don't win the Super Bowl. Maybe they don't win the NFC Championship game.
He did bring that certain type of juice, and I said this once already. I think it's not the fact that he brought sacks. I just think he brought that certain type of leadership that
I agree.
brought out the most of guys like Ramsey and Aaron Donald.
Leonard Floyd.
Like,
Yep.
he got the absolute most out of those guys. It's like he talked to him and he was like, bro, there's a different level to this shit.
Well,
All pros are cool. Pro Bowls are cool. You want to experience fucking winning.
I think what he did bring though on X's and O side is he just made it a little bit easier. Yeah. When you have a guy like Von Miller, it makes it a little easier on the field too. Where it's like, okay, the running back has to chip him this time. Leonard Floyd's fine. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think they're gonna miss. And
I think that short time with him though, these guys have learned. These guys are gonna take a part of what they gained.
And you know what? In the veteran leadership, you got Bobby Wagner stepping in, Super Bowl champion, one of the best linebackers in NFL recent history. This is a guy who brings the pedigree, brings the leadership. They need a good linebacker, sideline to sideline, someone who's not as good in pass coverage as he once was, who's lost a step, but he's still an upgrade over Ernest Jones and whoever else they have.
Exactly. He's that leader in the middle of their defense.
That they haven't had before,
which
really.
They've never had before. Yeah, I agree.
I would say since Alec Ogletree left, but this is a different level.
Alec Ogletree, I don't think he's even close to what Bobby Wagner is right now.
You guys worried about the secondary at all?
Not really. I like Jordan
They have Jalen
Fuller.
Ramsey. Enough said.
I like Jordan Fuller. I like Taylor Rapp.
I like their safeties. I like Terrell Burgess too. I wish they maybe had a better corner than Troy Hill, but I think Troy Hill, when he's on the Rams, just plays really good.
These guys just find motherfuckers in the 5th and 6th round consistently, dude. Like, they're just really good at drafting in that sweet spot in the draft. It's a big reason why they say hashtag fuck them picks. It's like, fuck it, we'll just get a guy.
I feel like they find a consistent, like, solid player that can, play for them in if they need him to.
A solid player though in the 5th,
like a solid starter. I guess.
Solid starter in the 5th and 6th rounds, like a home run though.
Yeah, I agree.
Some of those guys don't even make the fucking team.
We got teams cutting 3rd round picks and stuff like Lynn Bowden and shit. No offense, Charlie.
Yeah, but all in all, I think they're reloaded. They have enough to win again, and I do think they have enough to repeat. Now, I think a couple of things are going their way. Now that we're on the topic of the division, I do think this division is the biggest question marks besides them. As much as you love your 49ers, I do think there's huge question marks about them. We don't know what they're going to be. They can be really good, or I think they can be mediocre. I don't even think it's out of the realm of possibility that they'll be shit. The Arizona Cardinals, I think it's the same thing. I think last year was kind of a little bit of a fluke. We don't know how Kyler Murray's going to react with him not getting a contract and all that bullshit. So we don't know. I think it's the perfect opportunity for them to slide right in and be that three-headed monster along with Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and them. Like, they're going to be there. Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are going to have a chance to win it again. I truly believe that.
I think we could say that they're definitely a Super Bowl contender again this year. Yeah, I agree with you. But, you know, there's been, in the past, it's shown that there's been a lot of teams that have that Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah.
With the lack of run game, with the shaky O-line, I think we can't rule that out.
Those are valid points. There's no doubt about that. You know, you guys talk about them like so you guys bet that they'll be a contender, right? Yeah. We're betting that.
I'd say they're a playoff contender. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too early to say that they're a Super Bowl contender.
Okay, I would say in my mind they're a Super Bowl contender right now. So how does that make you guys feel moving forward with them? You guys really like them?
I love them. They still got Aaron Donald and they still got Jalen Ramsey and they got an elite quarterback.
As of right now, I hate to say it, they probably are the favorites in this division.
I would go with that too.
Over under for them, it's 10.5. You going over?
I'm going over. 11.
Over.
I am indeed going over. Best case scenario I have for them, I have about 11 wins. And I just feel like...
So that's best case scenario.
I think that's best case, but not because of their talent. I just think they're going to be a little bit smarter when it comes to health-wise, and I don't think they're going to have that slump in the middle of the season. And maybe at the end they're losing a couple games because they can afford to. It came down to the wire last year for the division. I don't think they're going to want to have that happen again.
I think best case for them is 13. I think Stafford and McVay in year 2 just a little more comfortable, getting a little bit better weapons, adding Bobby Wagner. Still got the good pass rush. I think 13 wins. Stafford might be an MVP candidate this year.
Yeah, the main core of this team still exists except for Vaughn. All the guys that the main pieces, Cooper Kupp, and Stafford.
Not only
McVay,
they replaced Vaughn with Bobby Wagner,
which is not a bad fucking replacement.
It's not bad at all. What do you guys think for the worst case? I would say Stafford gets banged up again due to the shaky O-line. That's the Achilles heel of this team. They can't run the ball. They're one-dimensional, and one of the stars gets hurt. Injuries always happen in the NFL, but this team isn't one that's full of depth. It's really star-heavy.
Very.
I got 9, worst case.
I agree, 9.
9. We're in agreement.
Yeah. Let's move on to the second place winner, or should I say just second place? Not really winner, because these guys are big losers. I think so. The Arizona Cardinals. Head coach Cliff Kingsbury coming back. Of course, he's making the play calls, so he's basically the offensive coordinator. And defensive coordinator Vance Joseph. Last year, they went 11-6, second in their division, lost to the Rams in the wild card. Very ugly. This team ended horrible. Okay, they fell apart at the end of the season, but didn't really add much to their team. Will Hernandez, basically.
And Marquise Brown, and they traded.
Yeah, and Marquise Brown.
That right there was a question mark for me. I was like, you trade your first round pick for Marquise Brown. Maybe that's just a reaction to the D-Hop suspension. That's what this screams to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're not going to have D-Hop.
6 games, I believe.
They lost Chandler Jones, and they lost Christian Kirk and replaced him with Marquise Brown. Now, is that an upgrade? Maybe it is, but not by much. Not in my opinion. Let's start off with the Kyler drama. I think Kyler is going to be the reason why this team fails or succeeds. It all starts with him. I don't think it's anyone else. Because when he plays good, he looks like an MVP candidate.
Well, early in the season, no doubt.
Yeah, September Kyler, give me him. He's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Looks like the second coming of Michael Vick. But come December and January, my man's just throwing pick sixes in the end zone, looking like Carson Wentz.
But, okay, so how much blame of that do you give to Cliff Kingsbury? Because I feel like you're praising Kyler a whole bunch, but then when he has to do it all, and things just don't necessarily go his way. I just look. The bottom line is I don't think Cliff Kingsbury does any favors for him.
I completely disagree.
You think?
I completely disagree. There is some blame on
What
Cliff.
do you disagree about?
I disagree that they're not doing enough for Kyler. I think they're doing more than enough.
Are you talking
they're
about
building the offense around him?
Are you talking about the personnel standpoint? Or are you talking about the X's and O's of it?
X's and O's and personnel.
I think Cliff Kingsbury offense sucks. I don't think it's creative enough. Look, I get what you mean about they built it around Kyler, but the way they call the game, it's like it's all on you, bro. Go for it. And I don't think Kyler's at that level yet where you can just say, "Carry us, bro." He's too minuscule. He's a munchkin.
Do you think though he's gonna be able to run any other offense? What other offense is gonna suit him better?
There's a difference between
Greg Roman's offense.
There's a difference between suiting him well and being the best for the team. The way they play is not the best for the Arizona Cardinals. It's the best for Kyler's stats and for him to look good, but the way they play isn't creative enough. It doesn't put defenses in enough binds. They figured this shit out after 4 weeks, and that's why they always struggle.
I feel like it puts a lot of burden on Kyler, and the offense is so it's
Kyler centric.
Yeah, it's so Kyler centric that if he doesn't play well, they're going to lose.
How would you guys use Kyler Murray?
I like some of the stuff to do. I like some of the design runs are cool and nifty, but you can't depend on him because he's going to get banged up and nicked up because, one, he's small. Mm-hmm. Being healthy is a skill. And two, I would try to get more creative in the short passing game, which I don't think they necessarily do that well.
I'd say this. I'm not going to push that much back on the offense. It's a college offense, okay? Mm-hmm. It's easy to figure out after a couple reps. But I would say this. The tantrum that this guy is throwing about how they're not giving him enough and they're not
definitely not a good
look.
I think that's complete bullshit. They're even getting his former college teammate at a fucking price that's way too much for the guy in Hollywood Brown. They're like, okay, we'll give you your wide receiver.
Who you said last year was the number one receiver though?
Who? Marquise Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a number one, but he obviously proved that he wasn't during the season.
What I think you mean is for the Ravens, that's a number one. For a team with a normal passing offense, you're looking at a guy who
you're saying is you don't like the move.
Going into last season, Marquise Brown was slotted to be a number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
I expected a big leap. What I saw on tape this year for Marquise Brown on the Baltimore Ravens, he proved to me he's not a number one. He's not. And he's damn sure not worth the first round pick.
I think the biggest thing, and you two can tell me if I'm wrong, that playoff game they lost, when he's on the sideline and he looks like he don't give a fuck, that was damning to me. The toughness he displayed in those games, and the game the year before, when they had a chance to go to the playoffs in the last week of the year, remember the fake Mahomes guy came in?
Yeah.
What's his name? I don't even know what his name is. He came in, and Kyler didn't want to play through an injury. And toughness is something a quarterback has to have. There's no doubt. And Kyler lacks it unless I'm wrong.
I also think Cliff needs to incorporate more like a power run game.
But do you think that's in his bag of tools, his repertoire of bags, is to say we can do a power run? When the fuck does he know how to do it? And he doesn't surround himself with like, hey, let's go get G-Ro. Let's go get him.
I feel like they just need to incorporate that just to keep defenses honest.
But can he do it? That's my question. Is Cliff Kingsbury coming from that air raid bullshit?
If he can't, they need to find someone who can manipulate the defense and add more of a threat.
An NFL level run game, not
across
this
the board. Yeah, across the board. Because, I mean, the outside zone is great. You just need something to complement that. You know what I mean?
So looking on the defensive side, some of the guys that can be some leaps, some I like to call the Blossies, the Blossomers.
Blase.
Zaven Collins, a guy that played fantastic last year. Another guy who got lost in the sauce because of how good Micah Parsons was.
You liked what you saw to Zaven Collins?
Yeah, I like Zaven Collins. And I think, can Isaiah Simmons make another leap?
I think Isaiah Simmons, I want to see more Zaven. I'm not sold on anything. I saw him get very few. There was very few times I saw him pop last year, man. Maybe that's just me.
At the end of the year, he did struggle, but I think in the beginning, I saw some really good things.
I definitely would say that they have a very high ceiling, very high potential linebacking core. You know, those two linebackers together, they're tall, they're long, they're lengthy, they can cover, you know, they're fast.
They can pass rush a little bit.
Yeah.
You got a guy who's 6'5" and Zaven. That's a hard thing to throw over in that middle of that defense.
I agree. Yeah.
Truthfully, the loss of Chandler Jones is just, I think it's going to be a hard thing to overcome. They got Dennis Gardeck, they got Zach Allen, Rashad Lawrence, Cameron Thomas, J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt's on the downslope, everybody.
Yeah, he's unfortunately like one of the best players on their defense.
Yeah, and that's not
saying much. Yeah, exactly.
I think the front four for this team is going to be the Achilles heel of the defense.
Well, hopefully a guy that I'm pretty high on and I really like. They drafted Cameron Thomas, guy from San Diego State, defensive end. He's a guy that can potentially take over that J.J. Watt role. And
I think he needs to take over Chandler Jones' role.
Yeah,
you gotta need both these guys.
Guessing from J.J. Watt's history, I know he didn't get hurt last year.
He did.
Oh, he did get hurt.
Remember, he fucked up his shoulder for the whole year.
Yeah, sorry for fucking.
But he looks like he's in
credit.
great shape.
Right,
great.
So
shape.
he most likely will get hurt this year again, and Cam Thomas is going to be having some playing time. Now, Cameron Thomas is not the healthiest guy either, but we shall see. Just a guy to keep an eye on for some productivity. If I said that right,
you did.
Offensive line, don't like. How are you feeling?
It's mediocre.
Yeah, at best.
Rodney's good. DJ Humphrey's good.
Humphrey's
Everyone else you could replace. Josh Jones has been a bust out of the first round draft pick.
Yeah. How many games does Cliff Kingsbury have to win, or what do they have to do for him to stay?
You think there's any chance he gets fired in the middle of the season?
Yes, if it fucking goes south.
I don't see that. I can't envision that.
Do you think Cliff and Kyler are a package deal?
I think so. I think so. I think from day one it's been like that. I think Cliff Kingsbury wanted his guy. He got Kyler Murray.
I think Cliff Kingsbury thinks it is, but I don't think that's the reality of the situation.
I think it's more with the organization, man, that Kyler is mad at more than Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, I don't think Kyler's mad at Cliff at all. I think he's mad at the organization because they're not giving in to him finally.
And they know that they're.
I think Cliff could be gone in the middle of the season. To be honest, I think Cliff has to make the playoffs, be competent in the playoffs because when you lose a playoff game like that,
I think they need to win a playoff game for him to stay. They can't just squeak in and get blown out again.
I think all they need is that 9 or 10 game threshold, and he'll stay again.
That's a good thought before we get into what we're gonna have to get into.
I would just say this. Let's say they do what they do, right? In September, they crash in December, they get to the playoffs still, and they get fucking thrashed like they did in the playoffs.
Him. You gotta fire him.
You gotta fire him. That's why I'm saying they need a
but I don't think they will.
Good point. We'll see though. Over under for them 9.5. What are we doing?
Under. I think the best case scenario for them is about 10 games. Worst case scenario, I would say probably 8.
That's a thin line to walk. Juan, what do you think?
I'm gonna go over.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were pretty hard on that.
Yeah, I was hard, but I do think they're gonna be able to do somewhat good at some part of the season. They just need to figure out the right time to do it.
What's your best case?
11 wins.
I would say 11, and I think that means when DeAndre comes back, he's on fire. He's carrying it. Rondale Moore and Marquise Brown are explosive.
They got pieces.
I want to see Kyler's leadership. That's a big thing to watch. Where does Kyler kick this team in the ass when they're down? Worst case, Kyler struggles, and when the going gets tough, Kyler pulls a James Harden and just vanishes.
Yeah. Worst case scenario for me,
I'd say 6 wins.
I got 4. That's the
wow. That's really. I said 5. I feel
4.
That's like top 5 pick in the draft.
I think it can go fucking either way, man. I don't think there's no middle.
Wow. I mean, 5's not that big. 5 or 6 in my book. But
so let's say there's a multiverse, and there's a world where they win 4 games.
Yeah.
what player do they pick
That's
in the
fucking
draft?
interesting.
Do they draft a quarterback?
Why
I would
not?
punt on Kyler. Yeah.
Why not?
If Kyler demonstrates the characteristics he's demonstrated, sell him high and just let's hit this rebuild hard.
I thought they should have sold him high this year. That's just my opinion.
Wow,
That's a crazy.
So like, okay, so what compensation could you see them getting?
After the season,
Yeah.
and they won 4 games,
Yeah,
I would say you get at least a second round pick for him. Right now,
I think he's a first round quarterback.
right now,
I think if he looks okay and they win 4 games somehow, he's like a couple first, 2 to 3 first.
I don't think so.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
I think
I
for
would
him
say
to play
1.
good, they're gonna
Some
win more than 4.
fucking team will talk themselves into that munchkin. The Eagles will be like, oh my god.
Hold on, let me just
Jalen Hurts,
me
but
just
faster?
Let me just say this: I believe you can win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray.
Okay, not a hot take.
So why are you criticizing him so heavily right now?
Because I don't like him. I don't think you can.
I
win a
think
Super
right
Bowl
now
with
you
him.
can say that, but we need to see a little bit more. He's still a young player.
I don't think you can.
Okay,
you mean
but
you've been
he's shown-
critical too?
He's shown like 3 years of great play.
He's shown 2 years straight
And a
of
little
when
bit of
in the biggest
inconsistency.
moments,
That's
Yeah.
the key
shrinking even smaller than he physically is.
thing. You have to be you have to be consistent in this league, though,
Yeah, I agree.
and he's just not consistent, man.
But okay,
Do you think we could?
if Matthew Stafford can be traded,
He was always good
For-
though.
there were games where he wasn't.
For the
You said okay. So what's your main point? Matthew Stafford can be traded for that. Kyler should.
Yeah,
Does it-
Matthew
Yes.
Stafford was 1 first round pick.
This is my thing. The market is not going to be as big like it was for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford can fit on all 32 teams. My thing with Kyler Murray, like I said, what offense are you going to put him in? You think New England's going to want to pick him up? No.
Probably
There's no fucking
not.
way.
Probably
Some teams
not.
are automatically going to have him crossed off because, like my boy Max likes to fucking say, he's a munchkin. There's going to be teams that are going to be like, he's under 6 foot, cross out. I've seen enough. That's how
I
some
don't think
teams
the Giants would trade for him either.
There's only a certain amount of teams in that market, and that's why I would say he will go for less from the Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, that was not the case.
And let's be real, Matthew Stafford was 1 first round pick. 1 first round pick was here's Jared Goff. Take his contract away from us, please.
Yeah.
Can we skip the next team we're going to talk about?
No, it's the best team that we're going to talk about.
Let's go ahead and move on to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Trey every year.
bringing back Kyle Shanahan. He's also going to be calling plays. Bringing back D'Amico Ryans, who had an amazing defensive coordinator year last year.
I agree.
10-7, third in the division. Lost to the Rams in the NFC Championship. The future Super Bowl champs to move on.
Oof.
Some of the key additions. Travarius Ward from the Chiefs.
Good pickup.
Drake Jackson, USC, draftee. And Kerry Hyder.
Someone
Ford
near
replacement, Drake Jackson.
All right, where do we start?
I think it's only right. You give us the storyline you look at to define
and
this
you
team.
better say the obvious one.
Okay, the first and foremost, Trey Lance.
Thank you.
So, Trey Lance, what is he going to be this season?
I think he's going to be a punk ass. No.
Okay, what's a realistic goal?
A realistic goal? I don't know if we could actually say, realistic goal is wins. I don't know if we could I don't know if we could say a really realistic goal is personal success, like as far as like touchdown to interception ratio, or rushing yards or passing yards.
What is it then? What in your head is it? Because I mean, if it's not wins, if it's not him growing as a player,
what he needs to show is he can handle the NFL passing the ball. He can handle running the ball. He can handle NFL hits. He can stay healthy and lead this team to double-digit wins.
That's a high goal.
I would like to point out with that high goal, there is a dark cloud that hangs over the franchise, whose name is Jimmy Garoppolo, a guy who has,
I agree.
although I can't stand him and I think he sucks, has led this team to an NFC Championship game, has been the quarterback while they went to a Super Bowl appearance, who, for lack of a better word, just always he's like a cockroach. He just seems to
Saved
survive.
the franchise.
He's
Yeah,
he's just a guy who wins people over. The team loves him. You've been on this thing where they're going to trade him any day now. That was 3 months ago.
Yeah,
They've squandered that situation with his trade value. He said, "Fuck you" to the team. I'm going to get this shoulder surgery on my own time. Screw you guys over from trading me. If he comes back, I feel like that's just I'd rather them cut him than him come back. That's just a dark cloud. It would have been Cam Newton if Mac Jones was there.
I think it's more of a loss to your team of him staying there than having a loss of not getting compensation back. That's my opinion. Obviously, the Niners don't think that.
Right. And I wonder why. You know, it's something that I kind of go back and forth with. I don't think he's going to be in the building. I don't think he's going to be a negative problem. He's not like a Baker Mayfield guy who's a negative influence on the team, who's refusing to be there, who's refusing to play, who's sour about any type of situation. He knew exactly what was going on last year. He knew exactly what the deal was this year. I don't think he's trying to like necessarily.
The problem's not Jimmy G.
Right. I think he's not necessarily trying to fuck over the team. I think he's just going to do what's ever best for Jimmy G. But the problem is, I understand what you're saying. The problem is, where is this going, and what is the general manager of the 49ers doing right now?
I would say this: where it does hurt is the team, and I'll tell you why it hurts the team. From just looking at it from a player's perspective, you look at a guy like Trent Williams. Okay. All he's ever known is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Sure.
You can easily have a guy like him and be like, you know what? This guy has led me, like Max said, to numerous wins. Playoff-wise, whatever.
Let's just do this. Joe, you're Trey Lance. You're Trent Williams. I'm freaking George Kittle.
Yeah, and George Kittle likes Trey Lance.
Hey, Trent, why the fuck did we get rid of this guy who's just been leading us to wins all the time? Why are they treating this guy so badly?
I don't know.
What's going to happen when you lose a step, Trent? What about me?
Yep.
What's going to happen? Why the fuck we dealing with this shit? Let's go tell the coaches we want Jimmy back.
Yeah.
Split the locker room. Right.
And automatically,
I definitely agree.
It's negative on
But
Trey Lance.
I don't think he's going to be in the locker room.
No, I'm not saying that's Jimmy G. I'm just saying Trent Williams, if there's a bad few games.
Right.
George Kittle's like, what the F are we doing? We just almost went to the Super Bowl. If we got there, we were going to win.
Not to mention the fans.
Right. So a lot of pressure is on John Lynch. A lot of pressure is on Trey Lance to be that leader and take control of that locker room and give the players a reason to want to play for Trey.
The only thing, I don't give a shit. He'd have to be the worst leader in the NFL history for him to. He has to go out there and play good. It don't matter. If he's an okay leader and he plays really good, they'll follow him. If he's the best leader in the world and he sucks, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're like, we've had success. I'm not getting any younger. I'm on the wrong side of 30. What are we doing?
You know, the people that are going to benefit from the Trey Lance era are Debo and Ayuk, because they're going to show aspects of their game that they've never been able to show before. They're going to show their speed, their deep threats.
Wouldn't they lose aspects of their game too, like the quick pass?
I think Trey can do that as well.
I haven't seen Trey in his career been able to throw a ball with certain amounts of touch. I've always seen that 100-mile-per-hour fastball. And I know he played that one game against Houston where he did okay, but even though the first half was fucking disgusting. I just want to see more Trey Lance, and the longer Jimmy G's there, the worse it's going to get.
So what happens? How do we... Okay, so...
Cut him. Trade him.
So you're general manager of the 49ers, John Lynch.
As soon as I
John
can.
Lynch, what can we do to resolve the Jimmy G
Cut
Jimmy G and take your losses.
Okay, so if you're able to get any form of compensation for him... Okay, how about this? There's also something that can be done. We can keep him on IR with the fake injury for the rest of the year and get a 3rd round pick compensation.
Get fined. You can't just put someone on fake injury, Joey.
His shoulder.
You will get fined.
His shoulder.
Okay.
As long as he's on the roster of the team, it'll be a locker room problem.
They fucked up by keeping him on the roster July 1st. They had a decision to make right there. Mm-hmm. You keep this guy over July 1st, you're going to have to pay him $21 million. Mm-hmm. What happened? They did not find a trade partner, and they had to pay him that money.
Okay,
now they're saying, fuck, we're paying all this money. We might as well keep him. But is it worth the loss of your team? That's my whole thing.
I'm with you, dude. It's just a locker room fraction waiting to happen. It's a identity crisis to happen. Yeah. Just cut the guy. And I've heard people talk about, like Peter King's talked about, the Niners want to win every trade. They think they're the smartest people in the room. Yeah. They might be overthinking this one.
Could be.
Get rid of him.
But what if they're able to trade him to the Seahawks?
Was it worth it for a 6?
Are all as the potential? What's the potential split of the team worth to you? Draft compensation?
Probably a 2nd round pick. High compensation.
So if that's not happening,
get
rid of him. That's my thing. With that being said, I think we've covered the Jimmy G aspect, and we've covered Debo. The defense, I think it's a Super Bowl defense waiting to happen. I mean, it is a Super Bowl defense.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's barely any holes. Manuel Mosley coming back.
Got a better corner.
Travarius Ward is a pretty good corner.
And also...
Besides when he's guarding Hunter Renfrow.
And also Jason Verrett coming back.
Fucking stop having faith in that guy's knee.
That guy, when healthy, is a fucking
has he been
good
healthy?
Player. But he hasn't been healthy.
You only torn his ACL like 8 times.
I think another guy to look at on the defense to stay healthy is Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah.
This is a guy that
that's a great point.
Yeah. He got traded essentially for DeForest Buckner. Now, I know it was more than just the player. It was a money thing. I understand that.
Yeah, money.
But at the end of the day, you guys got number 10 pick. What was it?
11.
The 11th pick. It looks good on paper, but this is one of those situations.
I think it was like the 14th pick.
Yeah, something like that. It was very high. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, we got DeForest Buckner. We got rid of DeForest and we got a 1st round pick. And this is where it happens, where it's like, okay, you got to actually pick a player now. And it winds up being a guy like Javon Kinlaw.
14th pick, that guy.
Yeah. And it has not turned out well. He needs to be something.
Do you think he'll have a fight with a reporter at camp again?
I hope not.
That's hilarious.
Tough look for my guy.
Yeah. But that was a bad look.
We freaking loved him coming out. Yeah. I really liked him, man. And it's been underwhelming, man.
But they're an all-star.
When healthy though, I've seen a lot of promise from him. Even though the sack numbers don't show it.
If I was healthy right now, I'd be in the NFL, dog.
Hey, man.
Let me tell you. Long snapping the shit out the ball.
He's a very high-impact player when healthy, even though the sack numbers don't show it.
I disagree, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
I will give you guys this. I think you guys have the best linebacking core in the NFL.
Yes.
By a long shot.
Yes,
like, it's not even close. Greenlaw, Fred Warner, and Alshire.
Yeah.
Something like that. But fucking elite.
And then we have new players starting for us.
Yeah.
Our nickel, I think we might have Sam Womack. Big things to come. We'll see.
I would say this, Joey. We're
Don't
talking
blow
about the
your
defense.
load.
We're talking about Debo. You got an all-pro tight end. You got an all-pro, maybe the best left tackle in the league. My question comes full circle to you. Why don't you think Trey Lance's goal should not be wins when your window is open now? And you should know from a from a 49ers fan's perspective, you even said it when you guys had the Patrick Willis team with the Harbaugh days. Your window was fucking huge, right? You thought it was going to stay open forever. Yeah. How fast did that door shut?
In one season.
Now,
were there two people like in your life?
I would say 2 or 3 seasons.
My comeback will say, I think that's complete bullshit to say that Trey Lance's goal is not to win.
You don't
games.
invest that much shit
I
in the guy.
think he has so much pressure on him, and I do think the kid can handle it. I do think he has a certain type of moxie. I don't think it's going to bother him. But the fact that if fans or, God forbid, the team tries to treat him like a baby and fucking try to breastfeed him or spoon feed him, whatever.
Come here, Trey.
It's gonna be a recipe for disaster. The kid needs to win now.
Can I add something to that pressure?
I agree.
Do you think the success of last season made it 100 times worse?
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's a certain type of bar that it's been.
If it had been playoffs and bust right away, okay, that's fine.
Because the window is now.
Now it's like, oh, we actually can win a Super Bowl.
The window is now. This is a Super Bowl roster.
I wouldn't say that they're fully geared up to win a Super Bowl this year.
What's a hole?
What?
But
what's a hole?
Well, they haven't. Okay, why didn't they go after Tyrann Mathieu?
Good point. They could have. They probably could have got a guy like Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
But you know why?
Why didn't they?
You
go
know why?
all out?
You know why?
They have to pay Debo.
Can I tell you why?
What?
There's a guy named Jimmy G that they paid $21 million.
And they went after Travarius Ward, who's he's a big money corner.
That's true. They actually decided to keep $21 million
of Jimmy G
of their cap.
That's a pretty
for Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Instead of using it to help the team win,
like a Chandler Jones or like a.
I want to pat myself on the back if that's okay. After you guys lost the Super Bowl, I said, "Why don't y'all just get rid of Jimmy G and keep the rest of the fucking team, dude?" Oh, you're tripping, dog. You're tripping. And then the next year, y'all basically got Trey Lance, so you can keep the rest of the team, right? Trey Lance is going to afford you the ability to keep Debo, pay him big money, keep whoever you want for, because we got Trey Lance for 4 more years, cheap, right?
Yeah.
And then they basically said, fuck that rookie contract. Let's keep Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Let's make it so we don't even. What also is that not just a side benefit of having a rookie quarterback? How cheap they are,
yeah.
And they were like, no, we don't want that. How is a 3rd round pick worth losing cap flexibility of $20 million, which is 2 good players in today's NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
100%. Now let's go into some of our predictions because this is where we keep the receipts. All right. Over under for this team. It is at 9.5 wins. Joey, you're gonna go last. Max, over or under?
Under.
Really?
Why?
9.
Damn.
I'll explain it. Go ahead.
I'm going over. Be generous. I'm gonna go over.
Right.
Joey?
Definitely over.
I'm going over because of one reason. It's not because of Trey Lance. It's because of Kyle Shanahan.
I'm going under for one reason. It's Trey Lance. I don't trust him. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm dead ass.
Yeah, I get you. But
give your best cases, guys. 17-0.
14 wins. Best case scenario.
What the fuck?
That's like 1 win extra.
I know, but I'm just shocked that he went that high.
He also hasn't been like just blowing up. Like he have not been like exploding with like just like Joey energy about how good this team is. He's been kind of down.
Why, Max? Why for you?
I went 12. No, 12 or 11, I think. That's just because Trey Lance hits out the park, and that run game's so nasty. And Debo's like, I'll come back.
Now we're gonna get into worse, and I want to go first. My worst case scenario is 6 wins, and I do think the spectrum is that far from like it can be bad, it can be good.
I had 6 to 7.
Yeah, and I can totally see it. I think it's
I would
only
say
right.
9.
I think there's only a world where if you think Trey Lance is gonna be that good, you have to look on the other side and be like, well, he can be that bad.
I would say this is what I would say. Trey Lance struggles mightily. Jimmy G comes back to save the freaking day. That's the worst possible thing. I think their worst case 6 or 7, and if like say they start off 4 and 6, and they're like, all right, this kid's fucking he hurt his elbow. Jimmy G comes back. They do a little better. They get to 8 and 9. Yeah, I think that's the worst possible case. I think if that happens, Trey Lance is donezo.
Yeah.
Shot.
Well, it's gonna be interesting. We got the receipts now, Joey. All right, because I don't think you made any
Hold me
predictions
to it.
last season.
We hold you to shit all the time, and you refuse to be held to it.
We got the motherfucking receipts now.
Die.
All right, Seattle Seahawks next up.
Man, I don't even want to talk about this team.
That's fucked up.
Why?
Man.
They're
Go
cool.
Hawks.
It's a waste of a fucking thing.
Don't disrespect the
All
fucking
right,
12.
all
They won more
They
Super
made
Bowls
you
than
guys.
y'all.
Look, you're just fucking happy that Russ is gone because he's the 49er killer, all right?
I hate that guy.
All right.
But I respect him. He's
That's
a
good.
fucking good player.
You should. Seattle
Hawks.
Seattle Seahawks. Bringing back good old ass fucking Pete Carroll, OC Shane Waldron, and DC Clint hurt. Last year, 7-10, last in the division, missed the playoffs.
Did it feel like they went like 3-14 last year?
They played Geno Smith at one point. It was
I
terrible.
cannot believe they won 7 games last year.
It was shocking.
Yeah, that is shocking.
Key additions. Drafted a guy in Charles Cross, who we all like.
Yeah, good play.
Noah Fant via trade of the Russell Wilson. Nwosu, your boy from the Chargers.
Uchenna and
Nwansu.
Yeah. I can't say it on podcast.
Who fucking killed it on the last game of the season for the Chargers.
Oh,
against
yeah.
the Raiders.
I like him.
And my boy Shelby Harris.
Raider
via trade.
freaking great.
Raider great, man. Shelby Harris from the Denver Broncos, of course, for the Russell Wilson trade. Some of the key additions that we highlighted. So, this is life after Russ.
Yes.
Okay, no more Russell Wilson. And in my estimation, they're going to be shit. I'm just going to flat out say it. I thought Russell Wilson was the absolute glue.
He was the only reason they won games.
Exactly. He was holding all that shit together.
Well, you guys aren't buying that Jamal Adams might learn to cover again. Let's make Jamal great.
Make Jamal great again.
He's got my vote, guys. I
Jesus.
100% agree with you. Like, my big question is this Pete's last year? You Pete Carroll, you want to go through this shit again?
I feel like he's
ready for it. I think he's on board.
He's
for the
an old
rebuild.
man.
Hey man, he's a young though.
But he has a few like sneaky good players. You know what I mean?
Like whom?
Okay, so
He
DK
does.
Metcalf,
Those guys aren't sneaky.
Really
Those guys
good.
are good.
and then Lockett, really good.
Those guys aren't
No
sneaky.
offense,
sneaky.
No offense, sneaky good. Jamal Adams, sneaky, sneaky.
I would say this: Rashad Penny, sneaky good. Chris Carson, sneaky good.
Yeah,
Shelby Harris, your boy Nwansu,
Charles Cross, really good.
Jordan Brooks. Like we're kind of just fucking. Yeah,
But-
we're off the fucking rails with the Seahawks. They suck.
They do suck though. Yeah, and they will suck because they don't have a quarterback.
They don't have Russell Wilson.
Is there a scenario where they're maybe 1-6 and they start making calls about, you guys want DK? Hey Raiders, y'all need that deep threat? Hey,
I don't think so.
Hey Niners, y'all want
Why
Lockett?
not?
I don't think so. I think they keep him.
Why? This isn't no 1 year rebuild in my head. They have a lot of bad money spent on their team.
But he's young.
I get that, but like,
That's when
And
you
I
sell
don't.
him.
I don't think they'll
you
let
want
him walk.
to rebuild with a $20 million receiver.
The
and no
person I
quarterback.
would have traded was Lockett before.
Why not
I
just
think we
reset
made.
the
I
shit?
think we had this discussion before.
Yeah.
Where I said instead of paying Lockett, trade him.
Yeah.
But why not just get rid of both and let's just do it? Let's just hard reset. I mean, if you're gonna go in for a penny, let's go in for $1. Fuck it. Like, let's sell Jamal.
And I would say this, man. They've been, usually they pick at the end of the draft and they always trade out.
Yeah.
I felt like this year they didn't Seahawks it. The Charles Cross pick was like, okay.
I think that was like a fuck you Russ pick. Here's that old line.
Yeah.
Take it, Bucko.
But they picked the right guy. I
Oh, yeah.
I feel
I
like
like-
he's
They didn't
such a
Seahawks to pick.
Dude.
I thought they were gonna fuck it up.
I mean, guys, I'm looking at this team. They have no pass rushers outside of Shelby and Wansu. Puna's okay. Jordan Brooks, I like him, but they have no corners that scare you. They have one safety who's so polarizing, right? Like, this is a guy who
Quandre Diggs is not bad.
No, Diggs is a good player.
we talk about Jamal Adams more as an edge rusher than a safety,
Yeah.
and especially in my case. Look, I think the best thing for this is you sell the guys who are really good right now, like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And if you could find someone to take Jamal, you do it. You hard reset this.
Man, they gave up 2 first-round picks for Jamal.
They thought they were in that window. If
That's
you
how
think
close the window closes, man.
Yeah.
I think if you think you're in that window, I think you do it. But they just miscalculated where they were as a team
Yeah. Most definitely.
and who that guy was.
Way
as a
to
player.
squander Russell Wilson, a Hall of Fame quarterback. Like, I feel like,
he won a Super Bowl.
he won 1 Super Bowl.
Should have won 2 though.
He should have won 2 to 3.
Well, let's be real.
should have won
More.
2 though.
Yeah.
He was a pick away. Come on.
1
Yeah,
yard
I
away.
know.
One bad play call away.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think we can overstate how devastating that moment was to that franchise. And I
Fuck
don't
you,
know-
Seahawks.
And I don't know if you guys remember the next year.
Oh, I remember.
What? You don't even know what I'm gonna say.
Shut your ass up.
I remember everything bad with the Seahawks.
I don't know if you guys remember the
It's
first
beautiful.
game of the year after they threw that pick. There was a 4th and 1 in overtime against the Rams. They ran the ball. Marshawn Lynch got blown up. And it was like, oh, we have to relive that moment over and over and over. And that derailed that like set of Seahawks. And then it was mismanagement of assets. It was, we're never going to fix this line. Fuck it. We're going to try to get too cute with the defense. Defense aged horribly.
Remember Jimmy Graham and Percy
Unger.
Harvin?
Yeah, just bad.
Well, those worked out.
Jimmy
the Percy
did.
Harvin.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but
he worked out, but I mean, did they really need him to win that Super Bowl?
No, but he was big in the playoffs for them.
I would say
Like
that
against
one
the
game.
Saints. No, against the Saints in the Super Bowl.
Didn't he get knocked out by his own teammate or something?
Yeah, in the Saints game. He got knocked, but he came back in the Super Bowl. But look, the point I want to make, you brought up like the defense wasn't the same. I think I alluded to it in the Saints preview when we're breaking down the Saints. There's these situations where a head coach doesn't have a grasp on both sides of the ball, and he's leaned so much on one aspect, like Pete Carroll with the defense, and it becomes, okay, defense is a separate team than the offense. We're not whole. And that's what it was. It was Russell Wilson in the offense, and then it was the fucking Seahawks Legion of Boom. It was two separate teams.
Yeah.
There was a divide in the locker room. And that's where it started. That fucking Super Bowl.
I believe it. Yeah,
Look,
I believe it.
Let's not. The Russell Wilson led this team to heights they've never seen before, right?
Yeah.
Contender every year. Just playoffs. They were not a laughing stock. And
49er killer.
49er killer.
Shut up.
Best part about it.
Shut the fuck
It's
up.
time. All good things must end.
Yeah.
They're good things.
What a fall from grace
Yeah. Jesus
for this
Christ.
fucking team.
What do you guys? I want to know what you guys think, though. Is there anything else we should hit on before we hit the over-unders? What do you guys want to do?
Not really too much to say about this fucking team.
Jesus.
Over, under, 5.5. We'll be going.
Under.
But I would say this. It wouldn't shock me if they hit 6 wins.
I went under, of course. But my best case scenario was 8 wins.
Wow.
I would say 7 to 8 wins is good, and that's just like I would say Gino's solid, rock solid.
Or Drew Lock.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah. I feel like Pete Carroll is too good to have only like 3 or 4 wins.
We're going to see. This is life after Russ.
Yeah.
He only had really one good year with the Seahawks before Russ.
Yeah.
That was it.
The
Marshawn Lynch run. That's it. One playoff win to show for it.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, or did you picked under, right?
Yeah, I did.
So I want to get into worst case scenario, and I want to add one more thing to the Seahawks.
Okay.
Worst case?
3 wins. Pete Carroll's done with this shit. The team doesn't blow it up, and they start extending guys who really aren't going to impact the future of the team.
DK.
Yeah.
Worst case, Joey.
4 wins.
I got 2 wins.
Wow.
And I want to ask you guys this. Okay. Finish it off. How much would you put a lot of money on the Seahawks being the worst team in the NFL? Worst record?
No. I think Pete Carroll's too good a coach.
Yeah, I agree.
Damn. What's the percentage?
For them being the worst team?
Yeah.
10%.
Wow.
15%.
Like 3%.
I will give them 30%. I just think their roster is really bad.
I think
Deep down inside, I kind of want to say Pete Carroll's a fraud.
you like Pete.
Whoa.
I like Pete and Russ. I just think I think highly of what Russ has been doing.
I do too. I think
I think the Raiders have
for
a
the
better
last
chance
like
to be the
5
worst team
years.
now.
For the last 5 years, he's consistently been a top 5 quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. He just carries
sometimes them. 1, sometimes 2. Like that.
I'm just gonna be real. The Seahawks weren't shit before Russ. No one talked about it. No one cared about them. So we're gonna see this year how good of a head coach he really is.
But with all respect to Tarvarius Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead and rank these motherfuckers.
1, kick it off, bro.
First up, LA Rams. Second, Arizona Cardinals.
What
the fuck?
Again?
Third, 49ers. Last, Seahawks.
I have it flip-flopped. Rams, 49ers, Cards, Seattle. I can only assume Joey has some team different.
Who you got?
Unbiased. This is an unbiased podcast, sir.
I don't want to say it. Oh, man. Rams,
There you go.
49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Let's see that.
Let's see that, Jackie.
Let's see that.
But,
Who's your third team? Cardinals?
yeah, Cardinals.
Okay. And then, so you have the same as me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not really.
All
But
right.
Trey Lance is going to be better.
So
than
you're going to pick him as your
Matthew
MVP? You going to be that guy?
No,
that guy, pal.
no, I'm not gonna say that.
Oh,
I'm
ye of little faith.
MVP Debo Samuel.
Ooh.
That's kind of crazy to think he'll play for you guys this year, no?
I think it's kind of crazy to think that
What would you do personally for Debo Samuel to get him to play for you guys?
personally,
Well, if you put it that way.
no comment.
Well, okay, Max, who's your MVP?
Matthew Stafford. I think he's going to win the NFL MVP if they have a really good year.
What?
Yeah.
I'm going to go off the walls here, but it's really for a player that's only deserving of it. MVP for me, Aaron Donald. He got the
You
biggest
got to pick these guys for what they're going to do, not for what they've done.
No, what he's going to do. I think he got it.
He's
Can I say
he's
my
got
point?
one foot out the door. He's
Can
like
I
about
say
to
my
retire.
fucking point?
No. Go ahead.
Anyways, Aaron Donald just got a taste of the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, one foot
And
out
I
the
think
door.
he read up with the
He's
the
about to
Rams.
retire.
No. He read up with the Rams with that big ass contract. I think he's gonna prove of every penny he's worth, and he's gonna have an incredible year again, like he's always have his whole career.
Correct.
Okay. What about your defense player of the year? Juan, you said it last, so go first.
I went Nick Bosa.
I'm going to go.
That just like goes against everything you were saying.
He keeps
about-
doing it. Just accept it and move
Okay.
on. I like Isaiah. I like Isaiah Simmons right here.
Okay.
Yeah, you're crazy.
That's just what I think.
Who you
It's,
going?
it's Aaron Donald. Unfortunately, I'd love to say Nick Bosa and agree with you, but it's Aaron Donald. He's just the best
I love when your Rams side
player
shows.
in the NFL.
Why
So
can't he be
it's like-
MVP? If he's the best
He's
player
not-
in the NFL.
I would because the 49ers rely on Debo Samuel so heavily.
Okay.
Don't think their defense relies on Aaron Donald?
Not
I
as
get
much.
you.
No, I
That's a
hear
good
you.
point. That's a good point.
Just trying to mess with you. Okay, what about
I'm
your
just saying. He
Yeah,
said he's the
Aaron,
best
Aaron
player in
Donald.
the
He's a
NFL.
monster. He's the best. Yeah.
what about your defensive rookie of the year?
What you got, Joey?
Okay, so
Better not be a fucking
Fucking Niner.
it's a Niner. I got to go with Samuel Womack.
Who?
Samuel Womack.
Samuel
This guy
Wombat.
is gonna start at nickel for us. He's got long arms. He's
I
gonna.
hope so.
Well, we'll see if he's that guy. But I have faith in him. I think he's gonna be that nickel for us. I think that he's gonna be playing with a great front seven. That he's gonna be able to take advantage of this and hopefully cause some turnovers.
Max, who you going?
Boye Mafe.
Thank God, a player that I actually know a little bit about. Oh my goodness.
You know, Joey likes to get in those weeds. I have a feeling I know who yours is.
Cam Thomas.
You loved him in the draft.
Yeah, I got to go Cam Thomas. It was hard to pick guys for this one because not a lot of these guys have first round picks and they pick defense.
A lot of F them picks.
Yeah. Offensive rookie of the year. I'm going to start it off. Kenny Walker on a bad team. Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. Maybe Penny
Injury
gets hurt
prone, yeah.
and Carson winds up just throwing in the towel because they suck so much. Kenny Walker, I love him. He's my number one back in the draft.
What?
Yeah, number one running back.
You're surprised like you didn't watch our previews for the
I watched
prospect.
the previews, dog.
Come on, dog. Don't
Watch the
embarrass
draft
us.
process.
I want Charles Cross. The guy's going to be able
Over
to
Brees
whole...
Hall, huh?
What?
Over Brees Hall?
No
Brees
shit.
Hall.
Number one.
Crazy.
Kenny Walker.
Crazy.
Watch the film.
Who's your number one? I mean, who's your offensive rookie of the year? Niner.
I
sure.
went with a Niner by the name of Danny
no.
Gray.
Shocking.
He's going to be that deep threat that Trey Lance needs to stretch the field. He's going to be our number 3 receiver.
Who?
Danny Gray. You should watch him.
We
He's
did.
fast. He's fast.
No.
He's nice.
And you picked Charles Cross, right?
Charles Cross.
That's probably the safest pick.
I like to be safe sometimes.
Alrighty, that's gonna do it, guys. NFC wrapped up. I appreciate you, Joey, coming on
That's
the show,
right.
man.
Go Niners. Yeah.
All right,
Good
man.
job, son.
Good show, fellas. As I hit the mic, sorry. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you guys made it this far, and you might as well hit the like button. It's a free way to support the channel. It helps out a fucking grip. Gets us on the YouTube page for recommendations, or YouTube homepage possibly. Comment down below what you guys think. Niners gonna suck. Niners gonna be good.
They're gonna be good.
Comment down below.
Don't believe fake news.
Motherfucker.
I will.
Anyway, Spotify listeners and Apple Podcasts, go ahead and hit that follow/subscribe button, 5-star rate us, all that good stuff. And if you guys want to watch any of the other previews that we have for any other division, and this is not where your team is, we probably have it. It's in this video or that video. All right. So we'll see you guys next time. We are out. Peace.
Peace.